All right, we're going to jump into Monday's Mastermind today, guys. So, with that being said, let me go ahead and share my presentation for you. Speaking of like food and, a lot of people having troubles with that or even just trying to get better. One of the things I see a lot of, and I'm sure you guys have this issue as well, is the late night snacking that would hit you when you first started your weight loss journey or even before. And so I really took some time to go over how to actually overcome late night snacking without starving yourself and to be able to break the cycle, reclaim your nights, and change your life. Because a lot of people, man, sheesh, like they'll go, there's so many different ways that you can end up late night snacking. Some people do it right after dinner, they're just nibbling on some stuff. Some people will be in bed for a couple hours and then boom, something hits them where they're just freaking starving and they can't fall asleep until they eat something. And so in this presentation, I'm going to show you guys how we overcome it and how we've helped a lot of other people do it as well without starving yourself. Because that's the main key, is that you could still get over late night snacking and not feel like you have to go to bed on an empty stomach. Even though you could do that and it would work, there's a different way you could do it. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. So number one is you have to understand that the real problem isn't the food, okay? The hard truth is that late night snacking isn't necessarily a hunger problem. It's a stress problem, a boredom problem, and a habit problem. A lot of people have so much stuff going on during the day that, especially if you're busy, that they pack up their day with a bunch of activities and then they put food as an afterthought. And because of that, they're all stressed out from the day. They have all these different emotions and feelings going on. They're bored sometimes in the evening. And they just find that the easiest thing to do outside of watching television or going on the phone is get the sense of dopamine with food. And so your body isn't asking for calories at night. Your brain is asking for relief. So some people have different, as big guys, like that was what our thing was, right? We all have this habit of like when we're bored, when we're tired, when we're feeling any emotion, we'll go grab some food. And so the thing is that we're not always looking for food, we're just looking for relief. And so unless you went hungry all day, and this literally means you went hungry, like you didn't have breakfast, you didn't have lunch, you didn't have any snacks, all you drink was water all day, and you have a ton of calories to spare in the evening, that's okay to eat later in the day. But even if that's the case and you have fasted, quote unquote, all day, I want you to look at your stomach and ask yourself if you think it's even possible to go hungry in the next 30 days if you decided not to eat. Now, this is like a challenge on willpower. This is more of a test on willpower. But one of the biggest things that helped me when I was on my weight loss journey was I would get real with myself and say, like, I'm not going to starve. Like, it's hard to face that. But if you can get over that first day of like feeling hungry, it becomes normal. And being able to cut yourself off from food, kind of like an alcoholic or a bar, someone at the bar has to tell the person he's done drinking, you have to do the same thing with yourself with food. And you're not going to be like dead if you don't. If you don't have that drink of alcohol, you're not going to be like, oh man, my night's ruined. Or if you're not going to eat that food, you're not going to be like, oh man, like I'm going to go starving now. Like you're not, because we have a big stomach too, right? So no, you're not going to go hungry. And so here's why people keep doing it, why you might keep doing it when it comes to late night snacking. After 8 p.m., your willpower is gone. You don't understand this, guys, but your brain makes it easy to make decisions. And so at nighttime, if you've gone through a whole day, the easiest thing to do is just like chill out, right? Your willpower, your willingness to push through things is gone. That's why people end up scrolling on their phone. They're trying to release the stress and they try to get some dopamine from watching fucking cat videos on the internet. But that isn't the real you talking right there. Your brain memorizes what brings comfort. And so if you always find comfort in eating food or doing something unproductive in the evening time, you're more likely to do that. And so for a lot of people, snacks is an instant form of reward, whether what they have in the cabinet, if they're eating their kids' foods, if they're eating, their baby snacks, man, like that's a lot of people's instant reward, is a temporary escape. And when you do that, you're playing an impossible game to win. When you're going and snacking, it's an impossible game to win because you should be getting your calories throughout the day. And most people say this when they eat late at night. They justify it with what they're going to do the next day. I'm going to eat this now, and tomorrow I'm going to fast all day. I'm going to skip breakfast tomorrow. I'll eat a small lunch instead. I'll have a salad instead of, a bigger meal because I snacked tonight. And when you do that, yeah, the hell right. You're playing a game to lose. That's not a winning game. When you eat like this and you fail, all you're doing is telling yourself that I can't stay consistent. I just can't lose weight. It's too hard. And because of the decisions you made at nighttime, now it's bleeding into the next day. And so if you really want to win your weight loss journey, you got to win the evenings. And here's the number one mistake people make. They starve themselves all day. they skip breakfast, they undereat during the day, and then they say, I'll be good today. I don't need to eat anything. And then by nighttime, you're ravenous. And now, unless you have discipline and you've been doing it for a long time, you're more likely going to fuck up in the evening time. Chris, I don't think you're one of these guys. A lot of people, like, if you've already seen results, it's a lot easier just to say no as you continue on throughout the day and into the evening. But most people don't have that, especially when they're first starting their weight loss journey. And so how do you fix this? You build a controlled evening ritual. Your ritual needs 3 pieces: movement, a short walk or stretches. Some people like to exercise in the evening, and I like that as well. When you exercise in the evening, how many guys have you exercised and you're like, I could not eat fast food after this? There's just no way, right? If you exercise in the evening time, that's a benefit to avoid late night snacking, because you're just like, fuck, I'm not gonna go. I smell the fast food and it just smells like shit. But 2 hours or 3 hours before, you smell that fast food before you worked out and you're like, that smells good. It's impossible to go eat crazy after you work out in the evening time. Number 2 is you have to stay hydrated. I like to drink a big glass of water after every time I eat something, like 2 to 3 glasses, and that makes me feel satiated. It makes me feel full. And so in the evening time, to actually help yourself fall asleep as well, it's been proven that drinking more water or some teas will help you get more tired in the evening time and not want to go and overeat. And then you have to have a shutdown trigger. Lights are low and the phone away. I'm still one of these people that have a bad habit of that. I like to check my phone before I go to bed. But recently I've been changing that to where I get in bed like an hour and a half before I'm actually going to fall asleep. Like yesterday, there was a football game going on, and over here it was going pretty late to watch. I'm sure for in the East Coast too, like watching these football games, it went to like midnight or something like that. For me, I was like, I'm going to be in bed at 7:30, and it's getting dark outside, so it's easier for me to do that. I was in bed by 7:30, phone off, everything by 8:30, done. 9 o'clock, Cade. And so you need to start telling your body that the day is over. And then now when it comes to the daytime eating pattern, so you have to stop starving yourself. Now, again, when you're disciplined and you realize you're fasting, not a problem. But for most people, they don't realize that they're trying to fast. They just say, I'm going to stop eating. And then hopefully I'm going to make it through the nighttime, and that's not possible. So what you need to have is you need to have a breakfast with protein. One of the things I did yesterday, we had a family brunch. And before I went, and like there's a bunch of like, carbs and pancakes, and they made better recipes, but I still said like, I can't overeat on these carbs. Like this is just not what I'm going to do today. And so what I did is I actually ate some like ground beef at fucking 9 in the morning, just so I didn't go and have a 12 p.m. pancake, fucking cinnamon roll, girly breakfast that they wanted to have. And so when you do that, again, you're stopping those cravings from happening. And then for lunchtime, you got to have a lunch that fills you. Again, protein with some vegetables. And then when it comes to snacking in the afternoon, you can have some carbs. Now, again, if you work out in the evening time, these carbs will be useful. You can use them to go run. You can go use them to hit the treadmill, go outside and walk. But something like what did I have? I had a Korean beef pasta, and it was like low wheat carb noodles with beef, shredded beef. I ate that, and then I went and ran for like 5 miles after that. I was done by the evening. I didn't want to eat anything. I was done. I was cool. And that actually satisfied me. And so when you fuel right during the day, the cravings lose their power in the evening time. But when you starve yourself all day, the first thing you want to eat is never like a freaking chicken breast. It's like you want to have some chips. You want to have a granola bar. You want to have something small that makes you feel carved up and sugary and gives you the energy and the dopamine. But that's not what's actually going to help you on your weight loss journey. And then another thing is have a slow digesting safety meal. So this is the hack that changed everything, guys. 30 to 60 minutes after dinner, a lot of people have like the sweet tooth. And so instead of going for like a yogurt or not a yogurt, ice cream or a protein bar with, sometimes I have sugar in them. What I do is I do Greek yogurt and berries. I do blackberries and non-fat plain Greek yogurt. It's Fage 0%. I don't know if you guys have it in your grocery stores, but it's called Fage 0%. Non-fat plain Greek yogurt. You can mix in a little bit of honey just to have some flavor with it because it is pretty bland, but then you throw some berries in it and you're good to go. That meal will fill you up. It tastes good and it kills the cravings. Or you can have a protein shake if you guys have those pre-made bottles like the Oikos, Core Power, Fairlife. Any type of protein shake, you can have that as well. And then I put cottage cheese as a little fun thing, but if you don't like cottage cheese, you don't have to have it. And so why these meals work, again, it's high protein. It'll satisfy your cravings, sustain your blood sugar, and prevent you binging. You will not get fat overeating on hard-boiled eggs. You will get fat on overeating chips. You will get fat on overeating pasta and chicken Alfredo and all that shit. But when you have protein, you're not going to get fat. The strategy right there, bro. So there's multiple different strategies you could do to lose the weight. You could fast all day, then have like one good meal that you really want to eat. And I typically do that when it's going out to like a restaurant. I will have that willpower to like fast throughout the day. And then you can have one meal that's like 1,500, 2,000 calories, and you're full because you ate it at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening time. And then that will carry you over to the next day. That's good for weight loss. Yeah. It will change as like, obviously you're doing more macros and like, you're not going to get hit 200 grams of protein in one meal or something like that. But that's a good strategy if you're like, hey, I can't, hit all my macros today, but I'm going to make sure my calories are on point. And so you still see results from doing that. I wanted to touch on that one thing, Trey, that you said about when you look in the chips and you just dump the whole thing in the bag. How many times have you guys like been eating something, and this might have been before you started, you're eating some chips or you're eating something unhealthy and you're like, I'm going to finish, this is my last time, right? This is my last time I'm eating this, right? Or I'll have this and then...
You know how many last times I've had, bro? You know how many last times I've had, bro? It's fucking, it's nuts. Like, but man, I've had so many last times, dude. It's like
last time I'm eating this shit. This is the last time. Yeah. And you never make it the last time because it's about the habit you're building as you're doing it. Like you think you can change a habit the next day. It always starts in the moment. And so me and Calvin would call each other out. Like, why don't you just throw it away now? Like throw it away. When you're eating, eating whatever you're eating, just throw it away. And it's like, damn. But you do that and that shit works.
On Saturday, I was eating, what the fuck was I eating? I was eating something and I dropped something on the floor and I was just like,
that's it. That's your sign.
That's it. Because you guys said that the other day and I was just like, fuck, that's it. I'm done. I was like, that's it. I'm done. Wifey was like, what happened? I was like, I'm done now. He's like, here, you good. I was like, this thing, I was like, that's it. I got to take it as a sign. It is what it is. I'm good.
It's like the Holy Ghost knocking it out of your hand. And you're like, damn, you really had to do me like that right now. But yeah, that's how it is. And once it hits the floor, you got to start treating yourself like, damn, what's some fat shit I would do? I'd pick it up and start eating it after it touched the ground, whatever it is I had. Nope. That's it. That's your sign. Throw it away.
Yeah.
And so what I do is you create that non-negotiating zone. So this is something that we do in late at night too. Like after 8 p.m., the kitchen's closed. That shit is off duty. No opening up the fridge just to look inside of it. You walk by. How many times people would just walk by their fridge looking to see if anything opened up and some new shit's in there? It's the same shit.
I do that shit all the time.
Dude,
I still do it. But I don't get anything. Yeah. I still go. I still open the pantry, and I'm like, and then all I see where I used to have all my like stash, I just have electrolyte packets, and I go, well, nah, I'm good. I'm like, what am I doing, bro?
Bro,
that's again, guys. And this is all about like where the accountability comes in. So what I've been doing a lot too is if you guys post your progress pictures in the evening time, or like your screenshots of what you've eaten in the app and then your workouts for the day. If you make that part of your nighttime routine, like that's what I do right before bed every night is I'll get my steps done. I'll finish logging all my food in case I missed something from dinner and I didn't put it in right away. You just go through, you take a screenshot, you put that part as your bedtime routine, post it to the Facebook group, phone down. There's nothing else to check except for Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all that shit, whatever. And then you're done. That's it. And you start building that into your routine every night. It becomes part of your ritual. And it's just like working out. You make sure you're logging it, and then you start losing weight. It's just part of the habit that you have to build. And so if you win your nights, you win your body, because most of your progress is determined by what you do after 6 p.m. Again, guys, how easy it is to put down 2,000 calories in 30 minutes. Really fucking easy to do that. And so if you just start...
Too easy.
Once you start looking at food labels, you're fucked.
Pints of Talenti are like 1,100 calories. That's 15 minutes.
Yep. They make it easy, man. And you're still hungry afterwards. So if you can just win the 6 p.m. after that, you're good to go. I like 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I think if you should try to get your last meal in earlier in the day. I typically do it around like 4, sometimes like 3:34, because I get hungry in the afternoon. But I can make it to the evening time just fine. If you have to, the latest I would say eating is like 7, but nothing after 8, 100%.